I got into a debate yesterday that kind of bothered me, and I wanted to talk about it here. You remember how when you were in school, well, assuming you're around my age, when you're doing papers and such, your teachers don't allow you to use Wikipedia because they say it's not a reliable source. I do not understand the thinking behind this. The big point they always make is, look, I can go onto Hitler's page and say that he saved tons of children from a burning building, and he's a strapping young... I say whatever I want. Well, okay, but that's like stepping into your luxury sports car and then, like, taking a crap in it to prove that it stinks. Just because it is possible to go and edit a page like that does not mean that it's happening. Yes, it's happened. People have gone and they've edited stupid things in like that, but they get fixed. There are so many nerds, no offense, who monitor that site 24/7, who devote their lives, basically, to making sure the information is accurate, that it's all sourced. You can't really think that the site's going to have a bunch of incorrect information. People cite all the sources. If they get incorrect information, they get it from somewhere else, but it's usually pretty quickly fixed. People also say that it's biased, that it doesn't tell the whole story sometimes, that articles can be written from a highly opinionated point of view. While that may be true, and it is theoretically possible, I doubt it. See, here's the thing. Everybody uses Wikipedia. Conservatives, liberals, people with different viewpoints on the same subjects. And they all toss in. They take sources from both sides. They battle it out, and they find just the cold facts. Here's another thing. In the event that you find something like Gandhi was a Terminator or something, shouldn't common sense kick in? Shouldn't you be able to tell that there's something horrendously wrong with this article, or that this is all opinion? Maybe something would kick in. Maybe, in the back of your head somewhere, you might think, Owen Wilson doesn't really seem like a terrorist. Like, all these sorts of things, it should just be common sense. I actually think Wikipedia is more reliable than the sources that we're told to use. For example, reading a newspaper. Newspapers can have a political slant. They often do. You have one person writing it, then an editor, sure. But the point is, that's coming from one source. Wikipedia takes that source, tons of other sources, puts them together, and finds the middle ground. Isn't that more likely to be unbiased than the Huffington Post? Everybody knows the Huffington Post is biased, yet it's okay to use that as a source. I've used it as a source, and people were like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But Wikipedia, everybody shakes their head because somehow somebody's got it in their heads that everybody's gone around editing the Jesus page to say that he was half reptile. Now here's the thing, I will concede that I do have a reservation against using Wikipedia. However, it's not because I don't think it's reliable, it's because I think, especially recently, American youth are becoming worse and worse at making intelligent decisions. I mean, I read The Onion all the time. I love The Onion. I actually have articles from The Onion on my wall. They're right there. I'm going to put up more. Every issue, I get it, I read it, I love it. I love satire. But here's the thing. When people post these stories online, The Onion does videos. Several times I've seen somebody post one of these videos, and everybody takes it seriously. There was a video, I kid you not. The video was called, I think, 10 ways to get the attention of the man that's having sex with you. The entire video was a sex analyst talking there saying, well, while he's thrusting inside you gently, all these things. It was very, very explicit. And it was, like, hilarious because it was horrendously, but people thought it was real. People think that The Onion is real. People are unable to make the connection and realize satire. And I think that's a problem. The fact that we can't look at something that's a joke. The fact that people take Jon Stewart more seriously than a lot of other news companies and shows and papers and stuff. The fact that most Americans get their news from Jon Stewart. Now, granted, I do think he's really intelligent. I think he's a great guy. However, his show is meant for comedy. So yeah, it's going to have a bias. It's going to take the... I think it is a serious problem that Americans aren't trusted to look at something and separate opinion from fact. And I think that's something that schools should focus on, is how do you intelligently look at something and come to your own conclusions. So essentially, I think it's a good idea to not have students use Wikipedia so that they can practice taking all these biased sources and sorting them out for themselves and finding the facts. And Wikipedia tends to do that for you, so I understand why you wouldn't want to use Wikipedia for that. However, outside of school, when you're doing research, when you're looking stuff up, Wikipedia is reliable. Like, seriously, I think it's more reliable than getting your news from, like, celebrity gossip sites, which so many people do. I mean, God. So really, the only complaint I have with Wikipedia is that it makes it easier for Americans to not look through news themselves. But it's still a reliable source. Those are my 2 cents on the topic. I just wanted to vent this. I know it's kind of out of the norm for my channel, but when something like this comes up, I want to talk about it. Anyway, that's all I really have to say on the matter, and I'm gonna get back to eating. I'm so hungry.